Hello, we are the Evil Squid Comics Podcast.
Hold on, let me see if I can come up with a gang sign for that.
A gang sign? Sweet.
No, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Evil Squid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this would be it, right?
This is 96.
96?
96. Yeah, the whole video thing's thrown out.
96.
This is our first video podcast. We're going to...
First?
What do you call it? Simulcast it, video and audio.
I don't think they have a term for that.
Let's do day and...
Because simulcasting is actually if we're broadcasting or we're not broadcasting and we're recording it.
Sure.
Simultaneously recorded in both audio and video formats.
Correct. First
Live.
video.
From Hollywood Studio.
No.
No?
Yeah.
This was taped in front of a live audience?
Yes, it was.
So I'm Drew Woodworth.
I'm Don Woodworth.
I am Matt.
It's weird looking at the camera.
Is it?
Kind of, yeah.
Just pretend it's Don's grumpy ass looking back at you.
And that's what it usually is.
Yeah.
Just don't look
We
at
could
the
hang
camera.
a little beard on it,
Sure.
Just don't look at the camera.
a little grimace.
Alright.
Well, then we're just looking at each other like assholes.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. We are the Evil Squid Comics
Eyes
Podcast.
forward.
I'm Drew Woodworth.
I'm Don Woodworth.
I'm Matt Darby. Read this.
And every week we get together and we talk about comic books.
That got spoiled for you a couple episodes.
Yeah, somebody fucked that whole thing up.
Was that Scott?
Yeah, Scott did it.
Oh, that's good.
You guys need to warn me when you're inviting Scott again so I can...
Okay, not come.
We should have had him last week.
Yeah, exactly. We just need to plan this better.
Short notice.
Cool. So, okay, news. Did anybody read the Grant Morrison article about the death of comic books?
No, but I saw he was interviewed by Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
The title of that was Grant Morrison talks about the death of comic books or something
I
like
saw
that.
some choice quotes that he had in there.
Yeah.
He
Apparently,
had
like Mark Millar, he'd like to hit him with his car.
Yeah, they had like a falling out or something.
Miller. It's Miller. I always call him Millar.
Well, we're not sure. Don says it's Miller. I always thought it was
I
Miller.
like to pronounce it phonetically, and it looks like Millar.
It does look like Miller.
Okay.
Yeah, he said
Frank
some
Millar?
interesting things. Yeah, he doesn't like...
No, that's
Mark
Miller, because it's spelled like Miller. If it was Miller, you'd spell it with an E. That's my
Correct.
point.
Pretty Scottish.
Whatever.
But yeah, they used to... Didn't they do that Aztec book you were all hot on?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember who wrote it.
Did you read the article?
I saw snippets, like 5 quotes from
Okay.
it, but I didn't read on
I
it.
read the article.
How was it?
It was interesting. Here's the thing.
Does he seem bitter?
No, here's the funny thing. He didn't, when he was talking or elaborating, he didn't appear to be bitter. But then they said something about, do you ever run into him, because you both still live in Scotland?
Sure.
And he goes, do you ever think you'll run into him? And he goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to run into him, and I hope when I do it's in my car at 100 miles an hour or something like that.
Wow.
So like, he doesn't sound bitter the whole time, and then he says something like that, and you're like,
Sure.
that's pretty pointed. Like if you, so apparently they had some kind of falling out, and the way he described it was, he kind of made it sound like he had gotten Miller all of his work and had really helped him do all the writing on it.
Sure.
But Miller was taking credit and wanted to step out into his own, and they were going to give him the Ultimates book. And so apparently in his way of distancing himself from Grant Morrison, he burned the bridge, let's put it that way. He didn't elaborate, he didn't say that, he just made that point abundantly clear.
What's interesting is, I think Grant Morrison, as successful as he is and has well opportunities, I think he's a little bitter against certain people who have been much more successful getting their books into other media. For example, Alan Moore. He seemed a little bitter against Alan Moore in that interview.
Yeah,
because he complained about he always has everybody gets raped in his books. Like every Alan Moore book, somebody gets raped.
He didn't really complain about it as much as talk about it.
Correct.
And the interviewer said something about, are comics misogynistic? And he made the comment about, well, you're talking about an industry that's almost entirely male.
Sure.
All the decision makers at every level are male in the editorial area, and I forget exactly how he quoted it, but and then he said, so, I think what happens is you have the potential to come across that way because of because you don't have anybody there to check you. He goes, and then there's some people that are just obsessed with rape.
Yeah, like
Alan Moore.
Yeah.
And then so he kind of made a point of saying that, but he didn't really make it like a huge tirade about Alan Moore or anything. It was hard to read from that whether or not, because it's whatever, it's print. You don't know if he's joking or whatever.
Well, same with Mark Miller. I mean, he's got all his movies made, or all his comics made into movies. One he's got like 2 or 3, and other ones in development. Grant Morrison, he doesn't have that for some reason.
Well, Jesus Christ, because nobody can understand what he's writing about half the time.
Somebody
He doesn't
made the
translate
Matrix
well.
before.
Yeah, did you ever hear that? He complained that the Matrix was stolen from his ideas.
Of what?
The Invisibles.
The Invisibles. Now, I've read some Invisibles. I really didn't get a Matrix vibe, but I didn't read all of the Invisibles.
I've never read Invisibles.
I read some Invisibles, and I guess I'd need to read more.
I wouldn't need to read more.
But I don't remember getting an obvious connection.
Matrix vibe, yeah.
There was something there about coming in, and there's an underground that kind of runs everything.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
so I think that there's definitely, but no, I think they really took it in an entirely different direction.
And really, The Matrix was all about the filmmaking, the visual part of it anyway. I mean, that's really what was groundbreaking about that movie. It wasn't necessarily the plot. Although the plot was interesting.
The plot was interesting.
But it was really about, the way it was filmed and
Sure.
the way the action, all that stuff. We still have slow-mo and,
Bullet
360 bullet time, all that stuff.
All the time.
Yeah. Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Anyway.
Alright. Any other news?
I have no news.
Why not?
Oh, we'll be at the. We're gonna have a booth at the. Is it Free State Comic Con?
I don't know. You're the one going.
Free State Comic Con in Lawrence, Kansas, on September 10th. Evil Squid's gonna be there,
Sweet.
selling merchandise.
I got Echo's hardcover today. Check it out.
How's that
That's
news?
awesome.
I'm doing a plug.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, who
Kevin
writes-
Nolan's gonna be there.
Who's that?
He's an artist.
Oh, you guys told me about this the last
Yeah.
podcast.
So yeah, if anybody in the Kansas City area listens to the podcast, or
In the Lawrence, Kansas area,
Lawrence, Kansas
or in
area,
Salina, or in Topeka,
Or Wichita.
or Wichita, southern parts of
Head
Nebraska.
up to Lawrence for I believe it's the Free State Comic Con. It's a one-day con, and I think it's a $3 admission. They've got a lot of really cool guests. If I get time between now and then, I'm going to try to maybe check them out and spotlight some of them. Different
Cool.
people.
How are you going to do
We
that?
have like a week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes.
How are you going to spotlight them?
I'll just go to their website and
So you'd be
see
like,
if their
hey, do
art's
this,
cool.
and then
Well, no, I'll just talk about them.
wait, on the podcast?
Yeah, on the podcast.
I'm gonna do like a career retrospective or something.
I've looked at.
You should bring in their books and like showcase them.
I don't
Yeah.
have any of their books.
Ooh, do a panel by panel on video.
But they're I'm excited because I can't think of his name right now. But the guy that draws Screamland,
Yeah.
he's going to be there.
Oh. That
And-
guy was at Comic Con. Nobody wanted to talk to him. He was all by himself, just sitting there with the Screamland book. I don't know if he's the guy who draws it. Same guy writes it and draws it.
No,
could have
I
been
think
the
it's
writer.
2 people. I think this
Okay.
guy's the artist that's
Okay.
going to be there, and I wish I knew his name, but I don't.
Okay.
But I went to his website and tooled around, kind of played around, and he's got original art for sale, which seemed kind of cheap. So I hope he brings some of it. I might buy
Cool.
a page. And then he was also doing sketches for like $20 or $25.
Wow, that's
So-
not bad.
Super.
There's a lot of local artists that are going to be at the thing, but I've looked at a bunch of, like several of the profiles and stuff, and just looked at some of their artwork, and it looks like it's going to be a really cool, like, artist alley thingy, so
Cool. Should be good.
I'm excited.
You should be excited.
I am.
Too bad you
going.
have to be
I
working the booth the whole
almost
time.
can't contain my excitement. Not
I
all the
see that.
time.
No, who's gonna work the booth?
I got people.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you hire?
No.
Okay, good. Because we don't have any money to hire anybody.
Okay.
No, but with all the fat cash we're gonna make off selling comic books at Free State.
We're gonna sell out like in 4 hours anyway, and then I'll
I'm
have
sure.
the other 5 hours to walk around and hobnob.
Do the fire sale like first thing.
Yeah.
Everybody else is gonna do it like
Exactly.
at the end of the
Don't
day.
wait.
Just
That's
say,
when you're gonna sell books anyway.
90% off.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's like crazy.
I only want to be here for an hour. Come on, people.
Come on. All right, we usually do a lot of comic book reviews, so that's probably what we're gonna do right now.
We should do that.
It's like somebody read a lot of Batman.
Yeah. Did you read all that?
Yeah.
Holy crap! Oh, it's been 2 weeks for you.
That's been 2 weeks.
You got 2 weeks. To
No,
think
so
about.
check out my fat stack here. So I've got
shit.
this plus this,
Holy crap!
and I read all of that.
Wow.
Plus some other stuff that I just didn't include because I
What's
don't
that
want to mess
stuff
around
on
with
the
it.
front?
Oh, this is stuff that we're going to sell, including Craven's First Time, which is awesome.
Did you buy 2 copies of
I
it?
have more than 2 copies.
Okay.
The Amazing Spider-Man Return of Black Cat, if you're into Black Cat, which I am. I mean, who can
Just
argue
got
with that?
Campbell.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I've got the Justice hardcovers 1 and 2.
Isn't there 3 of them?
I don't know. I have 1 and 2.
Okay.
So that's what I'm selling.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's what I have. How do I have the big stack? Just because of 2 weeks? That doesn't
I
seem
think
possible.
I think that must be it.
I don't read anything anymore, apparently.
All right.
I'm not done.
Well, Don, for some reason, he sends his kids to a different school, and so they don't start school for like another week.
Why would you do that?
Oh, he didn't do it. His wife, ex-wife, did it.
Hey, you know what you shouldn't have?
Yeah,
ex-wives.
exactly.
All right, cool. Well, let's get into it.
Sure.
Why don't you get rid of the boys so we can get that over with?
Oh, really? Want me to do that first?
That's
Yeah.
the first one.
This is the first hardcover.
That's
I
back
didn't,
when it was good.
I didn't finish it.
Ooh,
back when
that's a
it was
good start.
I only read 3 issues of it.
Always a good start if you can't finish it.
And you know, it's kind of about Grant. It's all about Garth Ennis. Okay, so I love Garth Ennis from The Preacher. I could not get enough of that. I love that book. That was like my Walking Dead of like the early 2000s.
That was your 2000s.
Yeah,
that was your
no, the early
90s.
90s. Was it 90s or was it 2000s? I don't know. Anyway, that's the only book. That's the first book I like started reading in trade. And every like time a trade would come out, I'd jump on it, I'd get it,
All
I'd read
over
it,
it.
I'd just read it and just absorb it. It was great.
You'd rape it Alan Moore style.
The problem with Garth Ennis, I think he's kind of got like a one-trick thing going on, because he's all about trying to shock you. And like this book, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's an interesting concept. It kind of reminds me of Rat Pack.
It's got 50 pages of previously unpublished bonus material.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Okay, it's a $30 hardcover. It's collecting 6 issues. It's got some bonus material. The paper is like thin, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Like single issue then? Or
Yeah, like
that?
single issue thing.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I'm like, really? It's $30.
I know you're a format guy too, so
Yeah, I
that's
am, yeah.
$30 doesn't get you anything anymore.
But anyway, the main problem I have with this book is like he's just throwing stuff in there just to kind of shock you. Like there's a scene where he's going in and he's like gonna talk to this guy or whatever, and
I wish
the
that
guys
You just passed 4 or 5 pages of nothing but shock value.
yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, he's gonna go talk to this guy, and they have a shot of the guy in his office who's clearly masturbating. He's got like Rosy Palms lotion and Kleenex, you know.
Nice.
And it's like, is that really necessary? I mean, what did that accomplish having him masturbating as this guy?
Yeah, how did that move the plot forward?
Yeah, it's
I
like
know what it accomplished. It moved that book from DC to Dynamite. That's what that accomplished.
It definitely accomplished that. And then the second issue, oh no, it's the third issue, I think. Okay, so like, this book is all about, there's this group of people who they basically keep superheroes in line. Like they go, actually I'm not sure what they do yet because I haven't got that far, but they're basically in charge of like keeping superheroes in line.
So you're so
They're the
engaged
boys.
with it. Wow.
Now, so there's this group of superheroes called the Seven, okay? They're like the Justice League of this universe, kind of. And I guess their roster kind of rotates as people move out, more people move in or whatever. So they get this new recruit right here, okay?
With the nipples.
Yeah, and she's got, and this guy, he's like the Superman character. He's like good and wholesome in her mind. You know?
Okay.
And so he's like having her join, so she came to the base and he's like showing her around. And then all of a sudden, you know, he takes her to like the round table room, you know, and he drops his pants and says, "Suck it." And she's like, "What?" And he's like, and then
If you want to join us.
and then 2 of the other people of the team come in, and she's like, "I think he's been possessed by like some evil supervillain or something. He's acting really strange. He's trying." And they drop their pants too and say, "No, we all want our dick sucked," you know. And they're like,
if you want in the club, you gotta blow.
And they're like, "Are you gonna force yourself on me?" They're like, "No, we either do it if you want to join, or if you don't, then forget it," you know. So it's just a lot of that kind of stuff. It just really reminds me of Brat Pack. I think I already said that. You read Brat Pack.
a long time ago.
Kind of reminds me of that, except Brat Pack had a purpose.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to basically... Rick Veitch wrote and drew Brat Pack. He hates superheroes, and so he basically was trying to show
That's what
how
this is.
stupid they are.
That's
But I don't
what
think
this
Garth
is.
Ennis hates superheroes necessarily.
Just
Maybe he does.
he starts. He spoofs all of the, like, there's an X-Men arc and there's arcs of all the different he's spoofing superheroes basically.
Okay. Just in a very vulgar kind of...
Yes.
Yes.
Over the
So-
top vulgar.
Yeah, it's really vulgar. And so, yeah, if that's your thing. It's not really my thing, so, but
I love the shock value.
the shock value doesn't really...
Yeah, it seems like your kind of book.
It's still got kind of a good story. I think it's got potential. And Derek Robertson's art is awesome.
Yes.
I love Derek Robertson. He does really good
I'm ready
work.
for this series to be over though.
Well, I bought like 6 hardcovers of these because they're on sale.
Hope you like them.
So,
It's good that you can't
So
get through
I-
the first one.
Are we
no, I'll
gonna-
get through it.
Are we
actually.
going to be taking those up to Lawrence?
No, I'm going to read them all. Like I said, I'm going to read them, but I may get rid of them after I read them because I'm not sure it's something I don't necessarily want to reread and keep and stuff.
I'll buy 'em.
You know what's interesting about this? So, as I was looking at the art in that, and I was fairly impressed, it reminded me of the Red Wing. Can I jump?
Really? Sure, go for it.
Okay. So here's the thing about the Red Wing. You know, the first issue
We liked.
we liked,
Don thought it was okay.
and you didn't like the art, and I said,